we've designed a phone case that can do this. This is quite scary.
I think it's working. The question, is it working? We're on. Right, let's just fix one problem I spot there. Then we should be good. There we go. Right, so hello. This is the first, I guess, proper go at live stream. I've done a few tests before, and even the first one's taken me 10 minutes to kind of get things working properly. And I think the stream is a little bit glitchy because it's raining. So I have to just wait and see if it settles down a little bit. Let's just see how we go on. You guys getting a clear picture, or is it a bit kind of jerky right now? I think it's probably going to be buffering a little bit. What I can do is switch to my other internet connection to see if it streams any better. Do you guys want me to switch internet connection, see if the stream works a bit better? Just swap connection. Give me 1 second. Okay, so hopefully the stream is back and running and it's working a bit better. It's buffering on my side now. Earlier. Is it working now? Doing something. Okay, so I think it's kind of working a bit better now. We'll see how well it goes. I think it's a combination of the rain is interrupting my internet connection a little bit. Yeah. So, the idea of this is, I'm not sure how many people will turn up, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Just to try out and see how well this works as a kind of event. People have said before about doing like a Q&A session. So obviously the channel's not very big, so that's why I'm not expecting to have loads of participation, but happy to sit here and chat with you guys, field some questions, and if I can answer them, or it's appropriate to answer them, depending on what the question is, I will do that. And then before we wrap up, I'm going to go to a random kind of selection page to select the winner of the drone that I'm giving away. So, with that in mind, I think that we've got a few guys in the channel. Just trying to work out how I see exactly who we have. I see David, Jeremy, Rod, Pocketful, Bloody Stew. So, hey guys. So I can obviously just talk about random things. If you guys have specific questions about obviously things already covered on the channel, or things perhaps that you may be interested in, we can talk about, or any questions, and then have a little go and see how this goes. I think one of the problems I might have with the stream actually is when I configured the stream event, it asked me kind of what resolution it was, and I put 1080p because I thought that was going to work fine because it had in the testing. But then when I tried it, automatically set itself to 720p, which I think must have been based on the available bandwidth to start the stream. So I think that's why we're getting a little bit of the buffering. I think there's a bandwidth issue with the weather. So Rod, do you still use the Twizy as much now as the Tesla? Yes, I do. So I use the Twizy at least once a week. I have got the windows off it right now, but typically on a Wednesday I use the Twizy. One of the prime reasons for using it on a Wednesday is at my kids' school, go to pick them up, the car park is really rammed. So the best thing about the Twizy is I can literally pop it anywhere, and a Tesla Model S is huge. So trying to park that on those days is pretty bad. I do still use the Twizy if I'm just kind of popping into town, into the cash machine, or picking up a cheeky takeaway. Still continues to work really well. I've done some more software updates on the power box, and the kind of projects that I hope to look at, say projects that I want to work on when the weather dries up a bit, time for the Twizy, is I want to change the brake fluid, because I've decided I'm not going to get it serviced at Renault for a couple of reasons. When I've spoken to the local, well, my actual local Renault dealers closed down, but even when they were still there, none of them seem to be aware of what the Twizy is or kind of what services. So I was kind of fairly confident they wouldn't know what they're doing, and I'd probably get ripped off. But now my closest Renault dealer is at the boundaries of the range. So I figured I haven't really got any plans to sell it, and I think I can probably do a better job of making it than Renault. So I'm still using it, and the other thing I want to try and do is with the when you get some beans and obviously the motor heats up, it will then kind of restrict the power a little bit, and so I want to do something to see if I can get some more air in there in a controlled way. So I'm going to use my thermal imaging to kind of see kind of where the hot spots are with the engine, and then hopefully drill some kind of small holes, maybe the size of 10, maybe 3 of them either side, and where the little ducting is to add some more cooling to the Twizy motor. So the other question is from David. Have you looked into speed home EV charging, including free phase? I haven't, and there's really a couple of reasons for that. So I did initially think that having single phase 32 amps, which equates to kilowatts, some kilowatt hours, wouldn't be sufficient, but it really is. Now I don't really do a lot of long journeys, but most of the time up until this week, I just charge off the solar every day, and it gets the car back to the kind of range. I used to charge it to 80%, and that equates to kind of a real world range around 183 miles, assuming I don't drive like a lunatic. And then the longer journeys I've done, I have used the Tesla supercharger, or stopped off and used a CHAdeMO adapter, a place like Audi or what it is. I'm going to do a video. That's one of my favourite things that I realised about Tesla, that you can charge it anywhere. Obviously, you can charge it at a supercharger, you can charge it at Type 2, you can charge it with a CHAdeMO adapter, and now they also have the CCS adapter as well. So it really is the most versatile electric vehicle because you can just charge it anywhere. So right now I don't really feel a need to consider anything faster than the 7 kilowatts. I think 3-phase would give me, what was it, 22 kilowatts or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it just was a lot of hassle. When we get a second EV, so if I get one, then maybe I need to think about how we're going to do it. Can we just swap around the single charger? And I think we probably can, and then just charge, during off-peak times, take it in turns every other day or something. But yeah, so right now, no plans for looking into 3-phase. And I think it's probably local grid people to cross their palms with lots of notes to do it. I just noticed again the stream is a bit kind of jumpy. I'm not sure if you guys are able to kind of catch responses to Thanks for some interesting pictures though. Like someone said, the hot dog head. It's weird how the stream isn't running as well as previous. The only thing I can think is the weather. The weather that does seem to bog down a little bit when it rains. To my other internet connection, it just got burst on the original one. So yeah, Bloody internet. I think there's anything else I can do to try and make it a bit better. My activity actually, and see if there's much else. Much on there. I will quickly go and turn off my computer just in case it's doing something in the background. Okay, so my usage chart, I'm only using 10% of my internet capacity. So what is it? It's taking up so much stuff. Looking at that box there. Let's see if that makes any difference. I will just grab reboot the one more machine, and I will be back to that's on the fixings of it. Right. Let's see if that works any better. Right, so Rod, yes, still am looking to do the CB. Actually got it over here. What I want to do is I'm trying to find a way of powering the CB radios by my LiPo batteries. So I need to look into the everything. This is the stuff I've got, which I will show you. These bad boys. So I think I had this when I was when was it? About must have been 16. So quite a long time ago now. And I actually had this strapped to my bike, and I put a mobile antenna back. And I used to use it whilst I was doing my paper in the mornings and the evenings. And then this one I got again B20. the Midland Power Max, which is well, at the time, it was a really nice kind of piece of kit. So they're the two things that I'm looking at kind of getting up and working again. I've got a Wilson mini antenna that I try and set up with and operate off a biscuit tin. So yes, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. I think it'd be interesting to see if how many people are still using it, and see if also I can get interested in it. The one thing that I did do some checks on recently is I used to have a CB license, but now you don't need one, so I can actually do some of this testing legally without having to worry about getting in trouble, which is always good. So David, actually, I could use the Wi-Fi as a hotspot. Unfortunately, both of my phones are about to run out of battery. One's got 16%, the other one's got 19%. So, I'm still not quite sure why this is performing like this, because according to my network information, the is fine. I'm only using 10% of it, so I'm still not sure what it is that's kind of clogging it up. I'm just see if I can do something else. It's frustrating for me, frustrating for you guys. So yeah, I noticed, Rod, also there's a few channels that have got some stuff. I bought it's like a really small, kind of quite versatile radio from China, which I haven't had time to play with too much, but I'm hoping that's going to kind of work pretty well as well. So there's a few things that I'm going to try. It's just, like most of you, I've got a list this long of things that I want to try out and do something with, and this much time in between different stuff. So definitely want to try and make more time kind of do it. I'm a bit kind of I guess the proper term is a bit OCD with this kind of stuff. I do generally I used to keep boxes for everything, which is why I had boxes for those CB radios. And the Midland Power Max, I actually kind of, so I was back when I was, I think, 17, I kind of had a bust up with a guy who I was kind of good mates with on the radio. That's how we met. And so that's when I kind of stopped using it for a while and kind of, I don't know, put it back in the box, and I just hadn't really used it much. But yeah, I used boxes for everything, and it wasn't actually until you probably remember from one of the videos last year, going through the kind of joy process, and that's when I went through and got rid of all my old boxes for pretty much everything. The only thing I kept boxes for was already still in the box. Some of my drone gear, and then for things like my amp and stuff like that. So if I ever move again, it's something to box them up in. I still keep boxes for using them whilst they're in warranty, and then once they're out of warranty, then I make it to go up in the loft and throw them out because I'm storing stuff. I don't know why, I probably need to force myself to do it, but I still keep the flattened discs for these Legos. That obviously not these ones I haven't built, they only came today, but the other Lego that I have that I built obviously in this cabinet, the boxes, put the instruction manual in there, and I've put those kind of downstairs. I probably should. There's part of my brain that not that I ever plan to get rid of things, but maybe like the DeLorean that I have, the Back to the Future DeLorean. That is one of the first ones that they first released, and it had the sticker was printed wrong or something for the license plate or something. So there's a big hoo-ha about it. So that's one of those. So it's one of the things that if I ever come to sell it, maybe it might be worth some money with the box, but I'm probably never going to sell it, just my kids or something. This stream is shit and choppy, isn't it? Just seeing the preview back now. It looks like it fixed itself for a bit, and then it going to buffer. Just trying to, I just still can't work out why it's doing it. Makes no sense. I'm using 5 megabytes of it. It's anything. I can think of is that I'm not allowing enough bandwidth. Yeah, it's the same as me then, David. Really. What I'm wondering is if, with this bandwidth issue, if that the amount of bandwidth I've allowed is not enough for the streams. I'm just checking. There's still enough. It's not working better. So it's buffering again, is it? Oh, I don't know. So when I try to downgrade the stream, it's YouTube wouldn't let me start it because it said that I scheduled the stream to be a 1080p at and when I tried to run it lower, it wouldn't allow it. So let's see if this works a bit better first. Mother Hubbard. It's odd that it isn't working properly. How you gotta go until you get home? Another put on my screen. Right. Let's now I've rejigged the balance allocation again. Again, I'm really frustrated because I had quite a few tests, as some of you know, and this time when I'm trying to do it for real, things aren't working, which I can see my own screen buffering again. It's odd. It is odd. So did you guys have any other questions or things you wanted to talk about, or is the stream quality just so damn bad it's painful to watch and participate? Because in the YouTube site here it says that I can't stop the stream. Did I stop the stream? What's that mean? If you stop the stream, you will not be able to restart it. Effing annoying. Absolutely. It's getting worse. Jeez. I really can't understand what is it to be. I wonder if I remove the bottom bit, if it makes any difference whatsoever. But okay, so it sounds like you kind of hear some of what's going on. Do you have any other questions or anything? Jeremiah, I guess just in the general, if you're not watching, it's all about if you've left the right information. Video. So just to remind people kind of what that was all about. Let's get a screen here. Where are we? To be with a chance of winning, you had to have obviously been on left a comment in the video where I announced the drone giveaway, which is F440 quadcopter and some RC gear and some that I have, and you had to add a comment as your name, your location, and a suggestion for kind of content that you're interested in the channel or for the channel. When I do the random selection, I guess cover myself with the rules. If the person selected hasn't kind of done those things and just put yes, I'd like to win the drone, then I will then select another person and get. And first will be who wins will be the person that had put their name, the country they're based in, and suggestions and feedback on the channel. As mentioned before, if the person that wins is in the UK, I will fully cover the cost of shipping. If they are outside of the UK, we'll still ship it, but they will be responsible for over what it would cost me to ship. The reason for that is the majority of the viewers of the channel are UK based, and I kind of think that's fair because you get a free drone anyway if you win. It'll be a random selection. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I have thought about doing some more on kind of what I can do also in terms of saving. I live in a pretty modern house, 25 years old, so in general it is quite energy efficient. Mine is high because I have lots of stuff, but I also have gas central heating, LED lighting, LED lighting. I have been thinking air source heat pump or something. I just right now I'm not quite sure how that would work or where I would have it. It's based that big kind of 80 units. So I need all the tanks and everything. I haven't really got a. I think it's easy to put that. Hey Neil, thanks for joining the feedback. I don't, part of my French streaming quality is shit, which is really frustrating because I had quite a few tests to try and iron out logs for the event. So I'm incredibly frustrated, and I know that you guys are as well. Yeah, thinking about doing something on my head. It's quite shady though. I have still been thinking about get some individual kind of panels and then doing kind of a setup to see kind of what it would look like. Something that I can use maybe if I went camping or something, or I wanted to have off grid solar generation, like an event or something. But yeah, you could definitely buy. I don't think it actually cost that much, really. I think a few pounds. One of the other things I'm also interested in, I think a couple of people have asked about it on the channel as well, is like a mobile battery pack. You know, plug an connector on and everything, so you can run some, you know, charge it up also either from a solar panel or plugging it into your house and kind of charging up. Yeah, David, you could definitely put one that's only for hot water. So I know in most kind of canal, when you do a new build, it is not necessarily all new builds. New builds that are classified as like affordable housing, etc., tend to have solar heating or solar panels just for heating of the water. Something that I think I know someone actually moved into a house that's set up. So definitely something that I could. People tend to have, it's only about 600 watt, and that is all that's used to keep the water intact, hot, you know, for obviously hot water, and just via immersion heating, and then it would then tend to have gas backup as well, or obviously they could use the immersion element to heat the water from the grid. Just thinking about it is, so it won't let me read this stream because this is an event, and so once I've stopped the event, it said I can't start it again. But what I could definitely try is to stop this stream and then I would try and restart the same event, even though it's that shouldn't be possible, or I can just start a kind of standard game at 720p, and hopefully that'd be than this shit, basically, because it's been an hour and this is not doing what I want, and obviously what you guys, you're being very patient, putting up with what's going on here. So I try to quit this stream and try and either reset it at 720p, or just then, if not, just start a completely different, just standard live stream like the ones that I tested quite well.